IVM.
Hey, if you like this show, then you should definitely check out another show on the IVM podcast network called Paisa Vaisa. It's a show hosted by Anupam Gupta that will clear all your personal finance doubts, from mutual funds to loans to SIPs. New episodes are out every Monday.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of IVM Likes, and I'm Surbhi. In the studio with me today I have Amit.
Hey.
What's up?
How are you?
Been a while.
It has been a while.
It has been a while. Oh, we also
I'm
have
not
Abbas.
called anymore, man. Nobody asked me to come on the show.
That is true. We just kind of make sure that there is no place. Yeah, okay, cool. So Abbas is also with us here.
Yeah, hi.
Hey Abbas. You also get some attention.
Thank you.
But let's see what we're talking about today. Yes. So in the first round, we're recommending what we've been watching / listening to.
Yeah.
And in the second round, we're talking about iconic music videos that we keep going back to, or like music videos that really stayed with us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's second round. Stay tuned for that. Now, who wants to go for the recommendations first?
All right, I'll go.
Okay, yeah.
So I just saw the third season of Murder in the First on Amazon Prime. It was really, really good. I'd seen the first two seasons a couple of years ago. Okay. It's an interesting idea, right? So there was the idea is to kind of take a murder mystery and really go into it deep. This is a little more common now, but I mean, like, this was a fairly interesting idea a while ago, right? So there was a show created by Stephen Bochco in the late 90s called Murder One. Okay. Which was the same kind of idea. This is where Stanley Tucci first got popular.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So that was a really, I really liked that show. I mean, like, Mary McDowell was on it. She also got first popular there. I really liked that show. And I was always looking for something like that. And there wasn't a lot of shows of that nature that were coming out because everything is like, that 45-minute murder mystery, go and do it. And like, it's kind of this. This is kind of, you get a deeper dive. You get like, you have multiple interviews, you get a whole bunch of different red herrings. Like, if you're watching a procedural, there are a couple of rules to watching, like, these 40 minutes. Most famous actor is the killer.
Ooh.
Right? I mean, that's just kind of like, if you've seen somebody 4 times before, he is probably the killer, right? Or the second rule is the second interview is the killer. Yeah. Like, those are like kind of standard rules in these kind of procedurals that, so this makes it a little more fun. You can like kind of watch a more long, drawn out kind of murder mystery. And at the same time, it's not as moody as something like Bosch or the Swedish movies, the Swedish show, I can't remember the name of it right now, but there's a Swedish show which is really good, Broadchurch. These are good shows, but they're very moody and dark and kind of really kind of this. And that kind of kills the reason why I watch these shows. I watch these shows for like, I want 45 minutes of like, just some bad shit happen. I have a pet phrase for this, right? Pretty people solving crimes, right? I mean, that's what I want to watch. I just want to watch good-looking people solving crimes. That's kind of what I want out of it. But I don't want it to be so predictable as well, right? So, and this kind of allows the stories to stretch out a bit. So I really enjoyed it. The first season of it was a tech billionaire who commits a murder and the cops. So, I mean, like, it's a very well recognizable cast, but it's not a very well known cast, right? So
I think Tom Felton was in the
first season. Tom Felton was in the first season. He was a tech billionaire.
Tom Felton was Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter films.
That's a good cast.
That is an interesting cast, So Taye Diggs plays one of the main cops. The other main cop is Kathleen Robertson. I think people might recognize her from the show Boss. She played Kelsey Grammer's assistant over there. And she's been in a bunch of other stuff as well. Then their boss is a guy who is... again, I like the 40-minute procedural. So he's a recurring character on Hawaii Five-0, the new one. And the two other main cops, like one is like a serial killer in every other show.
You can tell.
Well, I mean, like, like he shows up, he's the killer. He's one of those actors. So, I mean, like, and same with the second cop as well, right? So, I mean, like, both of them also. So, there are 5 kind of cops, and the main team is Kathleen Robertson and Taye Diggs. Then there's the boss, and then there are the other 2 cops who kind of are like the supplementary team, I guess. Though they're also main detectives, but they always somehow wind up working on a murder case which is somehow related to them, the other murder case, the primary murder case.
Of course.
Also, are you saying the team of cops remain the same? They just have different murder mysteries
so it's the San
them.
Francisco Major Crimes Department, right? And these are the 5 guys from that department. And so the first season was Tom Felton playing the tech billionaire, and He is suspected of a murder. The second season, they play out a school shooting. So like, why did the school shooting happen and so on. I think that was the best season. I mean, like, that was really, really...
Can you watch from any season?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I don't think it really matters so much. And the third season is a NFL quarterback gets killed.
Okay.
Sorry,
is it a whodunit? Like you keep guessing till the end?
It is a whodunit. In some ways, it is a whodunit, but also it is. It's not. They don't fake you out that much. Also, right? Like, so what happens? Like in this third season, right? You find out by the second episode who is the person who actually did the killing. But why he did the killing, that doesn't come up until the 10th.
So they don't keep you hanging to find who the murderer is, but it's just like the cause.
Well, it depends, right? I mean, like in the first season, who the killer was not exactly clear up until the second last episode. So Tom Felton was accused, right? And it was always like, did he or didn't he? Did he or didn't he? Did he or didn't he? It was that kind of this. In the school shooting thing as well, right? It was clear who had done it because, I mean, like you saw the school shootings up front. So you knew who the person was, but that was more about the politics and what kind of led to it and that kind of stuff. So it's a mix. It's not really a straight whodunit. And that's the advantage of a 10-episode series around this, right? 10-episode series, 10-episode series around this because season around this. Because what that does is it allows you to kind of get deep into stuff, explore, go down like something which doesn't turn into anything whatsoever, but it's still an interesting thing to watch,
right?
And that I think is a structural positive for something like this.
It is. I remember watching this show called The Killing, which was an adaptation of a Norwegian show.
That is the Swedish show that I was talking about. It is a Swedish show, isn't it?
It was adapted from a Swedish show.
Okay, all right, okay.
And what was really irritating was, so for 12 episodes, they kept us on the hook over who the killer was, and then they didn't reveal it in the season finale.
Oh, really? Okay.
What? And that ended on another cliffhanger.
Oh, that's why it's called The Killing, because it kills you, literally. It's like, wow, that's a waste of so much time.
That would annoy the crap out of me.
I would throw my laptop away.
And then, like,
shut up.
half the people tuned in for like the second season because they were like, you didn't reveal it in the first season, so it was really irritating.
Or did they try to tell you in the credits, maybe? Did they just like, the murders in the credits?
No, I mean, they did it so well. They had the build-up going and I was really hooked onto it, but they don't reveal it in the season
that's
finale.
Kind of unfair, man.
That is really unfair.
Because I mean, like, if you're watching a crime show, right, you expect... There are certain types of things where you don't expect resolution, right? But when you're watching a crime show, you expect resolution.
It was. So what they did was, one of the suspects on the show was a politician, and then the season finale ended with the assassination attempt on the politician.
Okay.
As a cliffhanger. So it was like one case hasn't been solved and you're giving rise to another one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Abbas also has a very weird history of
wasn't a
spoiling
spoiler.
all shows. So take it easy.
But I think the first show which sort of had this episode-long case was, I think, Twin Peaks?
The Twin Peaks was, so that was a full murder. But again, see, the thing with, Twin Peaks is the kind of show that doesn't need a resolution because that's like a trippy-ass kind of, it's David Lynch, right? So, I mean, like, it is, it's got its weirdness baked into it, right? So that doesn't need that kind of resolution, right? But when you're talking about a show which is more linear and more standardly kind of narrated, right? In the crime genre, I feel like you need resolution. But so I wouldn't call Twin Peaks to be that, right? But I would say, I think Murder 1, because I remember when the guy who made Murder 1, right, was this television producer guy named Stephen Bochco. Stephen Bochco is like legendary, right? So Hill Street Blues, NYPD Blue, and I'm probably forgetting a whole bunch of other things, but he was like the most prolific kind of television producer of the time. And he was he was very frustrated with this idea that in NYPD Blue we can't really explore deeply individual mysteries. Though NYPD Blue, what it did was it would do multi-episode arcs. So like in NYPD Blue you had like 6 or 7 different cops who were all main characters, right? So Dennis Franz and his partner would probably be running a multi-episode arc, while at the same time the other characters are doing like something which is more episodic, or so they'd kind of mix it up a little bit like
throw
that.
In like a standalone episode in the middle.
But as part of that, he kind of while doing that, he kind of realized that I really want to tell a story really deeply, right? And so this Murder 1 was that. And I remember at the time it was kind of considered very, very path-breaking.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Thank you, for the recommendation. What's the show called
again? It's called Murder in the First. It's available on Amazon Prime.
Do they change the name every season more than the second? Seems like in the second season.
Well, I would hope not. I think not, right? Because you don't want to... Well, I mean, like, that would be the opposite of flanderization, right? Because you're now all of a sudden making each murder less important.
Yeah. But I like how you said it's pretty people solving crime.
That's my favorite genre.
Yeah. I feel like if I have to design my own genre of crime fiction, it has to be cops eating breakfast while solving crime.
That will work as well.
They're just eating waffles and coffee and I know how to...
So you should watch NCIS.
Really?
Yes.
There's a show about this?
No, it's not a show about this, but NCIS, the main characters are always eating.
Oh man, I love this. They're always eating waffles.
Did you guys hear about... I mean, like, they copied it from a degree from this, but on Ocean's 11 or any of the Ocean's movie, any appearance of Brad Pitt, he will have food in his mouth. And it's not unintentional.
I never noticed it.
Every
it's a
single
fun
appearance
gag.
of Brad Pitt, he will have food in his mouth.
Oh man.
Throughout the movie.
I don't know if it's throughout the series, but it's throughout the first movie for sure.
Okay.
He's always he's holding a sandwich, he's holding a roll, he's holding something, and he's taking a bite.
That's a great gag. That's beautiful. Abbas, do you want to go next?
Yep. So I'm recommending a film called Kubo and the Two Strings.
Ooh, that's
It's an animated film. Has either one of you seen it?
I've heard a lot about this one.
Okay. So it's a stop motion animation film. It falls in the epic fantasy genre.
Okay.
It's very beautifully animated, so we're getting used to watching the Pixar way of animation where things look really pretty and there's almost this seamless animation that's happening. So texturally, this film feels very different. Doesn't take anything away from the gorgeousness of it, but you can still very much make out that these are hand-painted, almost claymation-like figures.
Must have taken years.
Yeah, and so because they do a little thing during the closing credits of the film where there's a palace in one of the sequences, and the closing credits is just what's the thing called when you speed up the video of them.
Right.
So the entire closing credits is just them making time lapse. They're time lapsing the whole castle as they built it. So it's very painstakingly done. I'll give you a little plot of the film. So it's about this young boy called Kubo. We start with his mother taking Kubo to an island during a storm on a little boat. We're not told what she's running away from, what's happening. But as the story unravels, what we realize is that his mother, Kubo's mother, actually fell in love with... so she is... Again, I'm trying not to spoil this.
Hey.
Let's just say there are interplanetary beings involved.
Okay.
And some interplanetary beings fell in love, which they were not supposed to do, which gave rise to Kubo.
Okay.
And now one of the interplanetary beings is coming to take Kubo back, and his mother wants to protect him. So she takes him on this isolated island, and within the first 15-20 minutes, Kubo has to escape the island and go on a journey. And while he's going on a journey, he befriends a monkey and a beetle who can talk, right? And they go on this quest to escape from the demon king who's coming behind them.
Okay.
And a lot of things happen.
This is in the entire movie, Abbas.
No, I'm not giving much away.
I've seen enough of these guys that this sounds like this is the first 10 minutes.
And so he has to go on certain quests, and at the end of every quest, there's a little bit of a twist, and Kubo learns something about his past, which makes him see things differently.
Childhood
Movie or
trauma.
TV show?
Okay.
It's a movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's I was very surprised. So this film actually didn't do very well at the box office. I was very surprised by that because it's a very engaging story.
Claymation, I think that might be the reason. Honestly, I found people don't like watching claymation.
Exactly.
Really?
I can only watch a 15-minute video max. I can't sit through a whole movie.
Well, it isn't like the Wallace and Gromit kind of claymation.
Okay.
It's very well done. So but it's texturally different from the kind of animation that we're
There's
used to
a
seeing.
lack of, I don't know, there's a smoothness issue with claymation. There's also an uncanny valley, honestly. There's an issue of that with claymation. It just makes you a little uncomfortable to watch it.
Okay, so I highly recommend you to watch it. If you lose interest in the first 15-20 minutes, you can tune out.
Yeah,
but
I would like to see it. I mean, I like the story. The story sounds fun.
So they go on certain quests, and every quest reveals a little something about Kubo, and that's how he learns much about himself. The voice cast is really interesting. Charlize Theron plays the monkey, the voice of the monkey. Matthew McConaughey is the voice of the beetle.
All right.
And you have Rooney Mara, you have George Takei, you have Art Parkinson, who's the main boy who plays Kubo. So it's a very interesting. thing. And the culture that they have portrayed is kind of closer to the Eastern Japanese, Chinese sort of culture that we see, the landscapes that we see, the buildings that we see, the costumes that we see. So it's not your average Western European fantasy.
Right.
It's more in the Eastern side of things. So check it out. It's a very good film. It's on Netflix, and
it's called
Kubo and the Two Strings. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So Kubo has this instrument with two strings, which whenever he plays it, certain magical things happen. Which is why it's called.
He's the chosen one.
I'm not going to say anything about that.
You know what that means.
Yeah, Surbi tries to accuse me of spoiling things. But yeah, please watch it. It's called Kubo and the Two Strings. And also watch the making on YouTube. There are a lot of videos about how they went about making. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. Okay, let's see what I have to recommend. Okay, so this last week I couldn't watch anything new because I watched like one sappy movie, but that's something I would not recommend.
Okay.
But something I would like to recommend is Mark Wahlberg's Instagram page.
Okay.
Have you guys been on it?
I don't think I ever have.
It is strange and it's beautiful at the same time. Because this guy, again, he's all about working out. And he's like, right now his page is basically half of, it's just like talking about his own... he has a workout.
Did he put his the schedule over here?
Yeah,
the wake up at 3 a.m.
Yes, he wakes up at 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
What do I do at 2:30 a.m.? I doze off while watching BoJack. Yeah, so half of his Instagram
That's even a thing that The Rock does. He wakes up at like 3:30.
But he doesn't talk about it not all of his posts are about this. Half of Wahlberg's Instagram is just him marketing his own. He has a range of workout, pre-workout drinks.
Okay.
Yeah, mixes. It's called Performance Inspired. That's what the brand's called.
Okay.
And that's all he talks about.
Do you think he runs this page himself?
Yeah, totally.
Seriously?
It feels like him because he goes on IGTV. And
no, but I doubt he runs the page himself.
I do think it's him because he can manage to wake up at 2:30 a.m. and post all this stuff. He literally wakes up at 2:30 a.m.
He's like Mark Wahlberg. He probably has 4 people waking him up at 2:30 a.m.
God, that's a good life. But I've noticed, so his schedule is super weird. 2:30 a.m. he's waking up.
Right.
2:45 he's praying. 3:15 a.m. he's
praying?
having...
he prays for half an hour or something.
Yeah,
there were a lot of jokes about this, man. I saw a lot of jokes around this. Mark Wahlberg is my generation, no? So my Twitter was full of this.
Okay.
Yeah, but one thing to note from his schedule is he has a lot of food. There's breakfast time is 3:15. Imagine someone having breakfast at 3:15. That's just ruining the concept of breakfast.
And his post-workout meal, he mentions what that is, right? Some 2,000 calorie meal or something, right?
Yeah, he has 3 burgers.
Yeah.
I feel like I only want to follow this just so I can eat so much. There's so much food in his entire
schedule. Do you really
schedule.
want to wake up at 2:30 in the morning?
No.
But then when do these guys go to bed then? At 8?
Okay. He sleeps at 7:30 in the night.
But when does he go for all these Hollywood parties and stuff?
I don't know.
No, he doesn't. He famously doesn't. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
He famously, he quit drinking. Now, he was an alcoholic. He quit drinking and he quit all the life stuff. So all he does now is, I guess.
God, yeah. Also at 9:30 a.m. when we do our brushing, he freezes himself. He freezes his own fat. It's called so we've got a lot to think about in our schedule. God, this man. But yeah, definitely check it out. I only follow him. This doesn't inspire me to go wake up early, but it's fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, now I remember Mark Wahlberg is famously very Catholic in his...
he's very famous.
Because I remember when the Pope came to the US or to Chicago somewhere, 2 of the Hollywood people were called to meet him. One was Mark Wahlberg, the other was Jim Gaffigan, the comedian.
Right.
And Jim Gaffigan actually has this very funny bit on Conan where he says he was doing the jokes and there was a translator next to the Pope translating his jokes into Italian.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That should be interesting as hell.
Yeah, you guys should totally check out Mark Wahlberg's Instagram.
Is he hitting any Asian people on the thing? Or is he beating up any Asian people on the Instagram post? No?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, well, what is that?
I'm never really going to let that go, right? I mean, he was essentially, he beat up a Korean guy with a bunch of friends because the guy was Korean. And, out and out racist attack. He was a young kid, but it was an out and out racist attack. So,
Man,
yeah, kind of a bummer for the
never,
Instagram.
Never really going to let that go. Every time I hear Mark Wahlberg's name, I'm going to look it up.
I feel like we're just exhausted talking about his schedules. Yeah, so Abbas, what do you recommend?
I recommended a film called Kubo and the Two Strings.
The claymation movie.
Yeah.
I recommended Murder in the First.
I recommended Mark Wahlberg's Instagram. You should totally check it out. And on that note, let's take a quick break.
So it's been another great week on IVM Podcast, just like it is every week. You know, if you aren't following us on social media, you should. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Send us a message. Send us a comment. You know, let us know what you think about the stuff that we're doing and the stuff that you're listening to. This week on Cyrus Says, Cyrus is joined by writer Vrishali Telang. She speaks about jumping from TV to books and her memories of producing MTV Loveline. On The Seen and the Unseen, Amit is joined by founder-editor of The Wire, Siddharth Bhatia, and senior editor of The Hindu, Peter Griffin. They discuss the current state of Indian media and the role of journalists today. This week, Indranil Guha, co-founder of FinPech, talks to Anupam on Paisa Vaisa about alpha SIPs. Last week on Know Your Kanun, lawyer and host Amber Rana took us through the history and scope of Section 497 and the time when adultery was first recognized as an offense. On the Kinetic Living podcast, Urmi spoke to IVM's co-founder Kavita Rajwade about her love for functional training, food, and the morning workout routine that she strictly follows. And again, guys, I just really want to remind you, the best way to spread the word about podcasting is you. You're our ambassadors. Please go out and tell a friend. Ask them to listen to something that you have enjoyed and that you think that they would enjoy as well. And with that, let's move on with the show.
Hey guys, welcome back after the break. And this is the second round of IVM Likes. And we're going to talk about some iconic music videos that we really like and we keep going back to. Mm-hmm. But there are some rules.
Okay.
I should
have been told about it before.
Sorry, quick change of plans. This music video you're recommending, make sure the song is also good. The song can't be a bad song.
Okay.
It has to be a good song. Because, what's the point otherwise? And yeah, it has to be a little game changing. Like, it can't be like one man singing in the mic kind of video.
So, all right, I got the perfect one.
A little groundbreaking. Yeah. So cool. Amit?
November Rain, Guns N' Roses.
Ooh,
it was one of the first videos to be made on that kind of scale in terms of just like, large canvas, fantastically shot. And it was a fun video as well, right? Because it's like you look at that and you're like, I want that life.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it was a great video. I remember really, I don't know anything about the video other than it follows your rules. It's a great song, great video.
Do you keep going back to it again?
Yeah, I see it fairly. Nice. I mean, like, it's not like... I don't think that I go back and watch music videos over and over again that much. It's not really part of my behavioral patterns, but I've probably seen this video, like, if I come across it, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
It's that kind of...
it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
It was made on a pretty big scale. There's Slash playing the guitar solo against a windmill and the helicopter shots.
Man.
It was a really
huge
big
video. It was a hugely made video. At the time when it came out, it was like... My God, people are going to do this in videos now? Yeah. It really was that kind of thing.
When
it was like
this again? What year?
92.
No way.
The album came out in 91.
No, definitely before that.
I'm pretty sure 92.
Yeah, are you?
I was a really diehard Guns N' Roses fan.
As was I, but I moved to the US in 92 and I know that I got Use Your Illusion when I was still in India.
Use Your Illusion came out in 91.
Okay, because I had people bring me that those CDs.
Unless they released the video before the album came out.
I think November Rain was the first video, right?
Okay. I'm not sure about that.
I think November Rain was the first video of the Use Your Illusion.
There's only one way to settle this argument. We have to Google it, guys.
Yes, we do.
Let's bring out the big guns. Let's Google it.
But pretty sure Use Your Illusion came out in 91.
Alright, we'll find out about
91.
And November Rain? What's
November
your guess?
Also 91.
Yeah. I remember watching it while I was here, and I moved to the US in like April 92.
Okay.
So, and I know that I watched it over here, and I know that I got fired for watching it because I was watching it. I was also giving HSC exams at the same time.
God.
So fired in that parental firing.
Oh, okay.
Parental firing. And then like, why are you watching videos all day when you should be studying?
I think what helps is that the song itself is like 9 minutes long, so you can have like multiple things and story arcs going.
There.
Yeah, okay, guys, are we now going to talk about basically the music video of this age?
Okay.
This is America.
It better be good.
This is America was a great video. It was a good...
Can I say this?
Okay, do it.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it over here. It was good. Okay. But please come the hell off. It's not like something that we have never seen before. It's not something which is like completely like revolutionary. It's not something which is like, oh my God, he's making a political statement. There have been music videos around this kind of stuff forever. And it was a good video. I'm not saying it's not a good video, but it was not like the way people reacted to that is like, oh my God, he's reinvented what music videos are. Oh my God, all of a sudden this is something which we have never seen before. I don't think it was like that at all.
Yeah, you're kind of right, but I also feel like that when he released the video, the time was super like important. Like it was a very good critique of race and violence around that time.
But I think a better video of that, which came out like a couple of months before that, was like another video that came out a few months back, right? Was Joyner Lucas's "I'm Not Racist." I thought that did a much more interesting job of like kind of highlighting that kind of thing. And I just like that a lot more than I liked this. And I just feel like like Donald Glover is hilarious and he's funny and he's he's really interesting. Yeah. But it seems like he is. He's over-venerated in my opinion, right? I mean, like people just look at him and he's like, oh my God, he's so great. And I mean, like he's good, he's really funny, he's really awesome. But he's not like, the second coming of everything.
True. I mean, if you talk about police brutality music videos, it was, I think, NWA's F the Police, which came out in 87.
Yeah, I mean,
was more ballsy.
Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of. These are. They're in the same genre. So my point is not that this was not a great video. My point is that it's not groundbreaking in the way that it's being presented.
Right. It didn't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right. I'm going to name a music video that did reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
Whenever I think of music video, the first video that comes to my mind is Californication by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Nice.
It was so cool. It was them singing and them in the video game, and the graphics of the video game was so cool. And it had the game itself had like a through line throughout the thing. Whenever you would get the Californication bonus, you would cut back to them singing the song, and the song itself was really cool.
The song was actually
so this was on loop all the time. Every half an hour, I think Channel V and MTV used to play it, and every single time I couldn't change the channel or look away. It was very well produced. It was very well done.
It was.
And now when you look at it, you're like, oh, the PS1 graphics, but it still stands.
That was then. I mean, like it was made at a time when PS1 graphics was state of the art. So
is it also one of the first songs like boys learn to play on the guitar?
Kind of.
This and Wonderwall.
Yeah,
Wonderwall's easy. At least I don't play guitar, but I've been told by people who play guitar that Wonderwall is easy.
Oh, okay.
It's apparently it's just a couple of chords and you just have to rhythm it. So it's not that difficult, supposedly. Who knows?
Yeah, so that one music video, even if it somewhere shows up in my suggested videos, I always click on it and watch the whole thing. It's really cool music video.
Nice. I love their this one too, Under the Bridge.
Under the Bridge is also good.
That's a really good video. Yeah. The Red Hot Chili Peppers make some good videos.
Good videos, yeah. There's one also where they're playing it in a drain pipe. I think that's By the Way. That's also pretty cool.
Okay, I'm not sure I remember that.
Have you guys seen, there's this band called OK Go that makes like really fun single take videos.
Okay.
So all their videos, they do this thing with all of them a single take. So the team itself is carrying the camera or like it's...
interesting.
You must have seen this. There's this treadmill video where 4 guys are singing on a treadmill and then jumping from one to the other.
Okay, right.
They were, I think, the very first definition of an internet viral video.
Right. Okay.
I feel like I like the video better than the song, but the song is not bad.
Okay.
The video is just amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's a good watch. Like I would sit through it.
Interesting. Have you guys? It's somewhat adjacent, but have any of you seen The Wall, the movie?
Wall-E?
The Wall.
No.
Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah,
I've seen snippets of it playing behind in the concerts, but I haven't seen the whole
It's an interesting idea, right? Because it's essentially a 2-hour-long music video.
Oh, okay.
Wait, are you talking about that? I think I've seen it. It's little kids in the school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They start bringing
that's
furniture.
One part of it. That's one part of it. There are a lot of different things that happen over there. It's essentially the story of a performer.
Okay.
And that,
which is the concept of the
concept
album.
of the wall, exactly. Yeah. And so they put together a 2-hour-long. It's a movie, right? But the movie is essentially it's just one long music video, and it's really, really well done. It's really interesting.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me. That's when they hold up signs that says "We don't need no education."
Yes.
Yeah, that was a. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good video. Yeah. How long back is this again?
This was 70s.
80 something? 81, I think.
81?
That was some good production for
either 79, I think.
Yeah. I think the album was 79. The movie might have been 81. Maybe, it might be, but it's around that, late 70s, early 80s, something like that. Nice. Yeah, it was something that when it was something that you used to do all the time, right? I mean, like, just watch the wall video when you're just hanging out with friends.
Yeah, a 2-hour-long video. Yeah. So you don't have to talk to each other.
Yeah.
When you say hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
You're listening to Pink Floyd, hanging out with your friends.
Guys, another one of my favorite videos is Bad Blood by Taylor Swift.
Okay.
It's actually
your choices are so recent.
I'm sorry, but this is a great video and this needs to become a movie. It's a music. Okay, I'll tell you. So it's called Bad Blood by Taylor Swift.
I've heard the song. Yeah. What's happening in the video?
I'll tell you. So basically, the star cast, the people in the video are just there's Lena Dunham, there's Kendrick Lamar, there's a lot
of explosions happening.
So basically they're all training. They're all training to fight another group. And I don't know, the video, it's so it's very captivating.
It's the Hum Bhi Hai Josh Mein of Taylor Swift.
Come on, it's not Hum Bhi Hai Josh Mein.
Because that's essentially what's happening in that song as well. The gangs are preparing to fight each other.
Do you have any Hindi music videos you keep going back to?
I do. So Bali Sagu in the mid-90s did these remixes of Hindi songs from 50s and 60s.
Chura Liya Hai.
No, this was a little later. Okay. So Bali Sagu did Chandni Raatein and a bunch of others. And he used to have really trippy music videos.
He did.
Because I remember this because, again, music videos were fairly new at that point of time. So my mother used to read the newspaper. The TV used to be on. So she used to enjoy the songs. But when she used to look at the TV, they're like, what do these images have to do with this song? I'm like, I don't know. So there's this one video where a man is looking into the mirror and it just kind of keeps going 360 throughout the video, and every time the camera comes back to him, he's a different thing. So at one point he'll be in a different costume, sometime he'll be a skull, at another time he'll be a woman,
What is this song?
I can't remember the title of the song, but
we are so well prepared.
Yeah, I was like, everybody Google stuff before you enter the studio.
I tried to Google it and I can't find it. So I remember the tune of the song, and I remember it's a very old song from the 60s, I think. But yeah, if you go through like the Bali Sagu repertoire of videos, you'll definitely find it. So
maybe if our listeners have heard it, they
can send us a tweet or a message or something like that. Yeah.
What are you, Amit?
Hindi songs, interesting. I got a couple which I think are quite memorable, right? So I mean, like the movie called Jewel Thief. Very old movie, Devanand movie. Yeah. There's a song in that called
Hoto Mein Aisi Baat.
Yeah, it was like a heist
on the nose.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
And then Devanand made a very shitty sequel called Return of the Jewel Thief,
which was very bad.
Which was very bad.
Very, very bad. This one had a song called Hoto Mein Aisi Baat. And the video for that, right? So Vaijayanti Mala was in it. It was really kind of interesting. The way they shot it was really interesting. It wasn't a one-shot video, but it was really long shots, which was a kind of difference from what you were used to seeing at that point. And I think the way that it was just such a colorfully, beautifully well shot kind of this. I think Devanand wasn't the director of the movie. I think Goldie Anand was the director of the movie. And just really, really kind of very captivating, if you will, the video itself.
Well, that's fine.
I found the title of the song. Sorry to interject. Yes. Cool, it's called Dil Cheez Hai Kya Janam.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, all right. Yeah. No, that's all I have to say about Jewel Thief.
Guys, what are your thoughts on Made in India by Alisha Chinai?
Alisha Chinai
is when Milan
it was interesting.
It's a good video.
It was an early video. It was a good video for the time. Yeah.
Like he comes parceled to you. That's like
what it did was so in America the hip hop videos were all about rappers celebrating how cool they are and how amazing they are, and that's what Alisha Chinai does in that video, because she's sitting on a throne and things are being presented to her, and she keeps on rejecting them until finally Milan Soman shows up and she's like,
she has a pet tiger.
Yeah, she has a pet tiger.
Oh my god, that was taking it too far. I was like, this is a good video.
Yeah. There's also Duba Duba Rehta Hoon by Silk Route, which was interesting.
That was a good one.
The early days of Moh Chauhan.
Where they're singing in the water for some reason.
that makes sense, because Duba Duba.
They're
all drowning. Yeah, but this is...
What about you? Do you have any Hindi
I think Made in India is my most favorite Hindi music video. Also, have you seen Euphoria? Made some good videos.
They made some good ones.
Like Mairi.
Yes. Mairi is the one in the train, right?
Yeah,
that was a good song.
They're so like feel good. Like it's like, again, these videos deserve a movie of their own. I want Palash Sen to be in a movie.
He was in a movie.
He was?
Yeah, he was like a second lead in a movie.
Did he do a bad job like Sonu Nigam in that movie? Oh man. I don't know. Can you trust singers in movies anymore?
I don't think you ever could.
Damn it.
Yeah, acting's tough. It's not easy.
That's true.
Yeah. I can't think of any other of the things from the indie pop times that were really...
I mentioned that video by there was this group called the Aryans, or what they called Aryan. It was Shahid Kapoor's first on-screen appearance, I think. The song was called Aankhon Mein Tera Hi Chehra. And what I liked was there was an entire story in the whole video, was that Shahid Kapoor is this big cricket fan. He sees this autographed bat by Sachin Tendulkar. Then he falls in love with a girl. He does something. He buys a gift for her with that money he was saving for the bat. But then the girl goes with someone else and the bat is also gone. That was the ending of the video.
Oh man.
That was like really heartfelt, sad video.
It is kind of sad. Bat also gone, girl also gone. It's just what do I do?
Yeah.
But this was fine. I guess we're all out of music video suggestions. But
well, no, actually have a lot more.
But I mean, I think
we should just wrap up.
Yes.
Alright guys, thanks for listening to this episode of IVM Likes, and thank you Abbas and Amit for joining us. You can follow us on IVM Podcast and tell us your favorite music videos. We are on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And Abbas, where can we find you?
You can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @AbbasMomin.
Alright.
Doshi Amit on Twitter.
I am at Small Talk Police on Twitter. And thank you. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Have you gotten yourself a gym membership and shown up only a few times? Are long working hours cutting your fitness goals short? How about you change things a little? Even a small effort can make a big difference. And I'll tell you how and what exactly. Hi guys, I'm Coach Urmi, and on the Kinetic Living podcast, you can look forward to some interesting stories of people who have changed the way they look at fitness after their kinetic journeys. Episodes out every Wednesday on the IVM app, website, and anywhere you get your podcast from.
How aware do you think you are of your laws and rights? Do you look up to laws when you are caught up in situations? Do you know what your rights are when you're stuck somewhere bad? Well, here's a show that can help you move an inch closer to being aware of what your rights are. Tune into Know Your Qanoon with me, Amber Rana. This is a podcast meant to answer all your law-related queries. Catch Know Your Qanoon every week on the IVM website or the app or anywhere you get your podcast from.